Hi, my name is Brian Sump. I am the Lehi City Volunteer Coordinator for the Community Emergency Response Team. We're going to be showing you how to properly fill and place sandbags. With the upcoming potential flooding coming in the city, we wanted to make sure that things were going the right direction. So when you're filling a sandbag, important thing to remember is one, to have gloves on, make sure that you're prepared. Obviously, I don't have mine on with me right now. When it comes to filling the sandbags, only fill them halfway to 2/3 of the way full, no more. We'll show you the reason why here in a second. So again, just regular sandbag, filling it with sand. As you're placing the sandbags, when you're placing the sandbags, place it down on the ground, and then the remaining tail of the sand, you fold it over so that the next sandbag going on top of it will hold it into place and it'll seal up that top of that bag. That's one of the reasons why you don't have to worry about tying off the top of the bag, because it's not needed. We've also found that under best practices of the sandbags that are tied do tend to come apart a lot easier. I know it's strange to think, but that's the way that it works. So if you take your sandbags, you place them down, and just fold that corner over, then come back to one that you did a couple before, stomp it down so it's nice and good and flat. And then the next one that you get, you're going to be placing it right in the middle of the one underneath it, so that you're creating like a brick pattern. So the way that they're staggered is that water can't get through there because they are staggered. If you place them one on top of each other, there will be channels for that water to get in through. Again, you just keep going right down the line, doing the exact same thing of placing that sandbag right on top of the flap of the previous one, which will hold that all into place. Now, the reason why we did it this direction is, let's say that the water is coming down this direction. We don't want to have the opening of the sandbag towards where the water is coming from, because it'll actually fill that sandbag with water and it'll cause it to wash out. We place the sandbag downstream, the opening downstream, fold it over, put the next sandbag on top of it to seal it off. Okay, so a couple last things. When it comes to sandbagging, if you know that the water is expected to rise more than a couple of feet, a couple of things to remember is that when you get up about 2 feet high on a set of sandbags, you need to start a second row behind it. So the easiest way to remember it, if I go up 2, I've got to add 1. So if I go up to 4 feet, then I'm going to be 3 rows of bags out. The reason for that is as the pressure of the water comes, it won't push that row of sandbags over, and these back ones are going to be the ones that are enforcing it and keeping it all in place. One last thing to remember is that if you overfill sandbags, number one, it's going to blow the sandbag out. Number two, it's going to take out a whole lot of your volunteers, and those that can carry heavy sandbags, it's going to minimize the amount of time that they're able to carry bags. So remember, no more than 2/3 of the way full, preferably about halfway full, and then that way you'll be able to keep your strength and be able to keep going longer.
Hey, this is Mark Johnson with Lehi City. As all of you know by now, we're concerned about the potential of flooding this year. It happens from time to time. We never know what it's going to be like, and we're not sure when it's going to come. But this year, with about 800 inches of snow already in our mountains, we're anticipating that we are going to have very high flows. If you live in waterways that typically flood, we are going to ask you to prepare. We're going to also ask those who are willing to volunteer to help your neighbors and help the other citizens that may be at risk. So this year, I want to thank our staff at the city who's worked very hard to make sure our waterways are clear of debris. I also want to thank the people at C.E.R.T who have been dedicating a lot of time to help for emergency preparation. So this year, pay attention and make sure that you follow instructions and prepare yourself for any potential flooding that may come your way.
Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. If you've got any questions, you can reach out to us at Lehi City or LehiCert.org. Thank you.